least I'll let you guys determine that. It looks kind of funny with my avatar and then a bunny up there, though, with lasers. I just realized that's kind of a funny side by side.
Happy Easter, bro.
Hey, it actually, Easter 2026. I actually wish you wouldn't have said that. I think since, come to think of it, man, last time I was on video doing anything, I think that was the Zeta 1 year anniversary, I believe. And I don't know the last time I did anything audio. I think that must have been the NFT marketplace. We were showing how to use the NFT, something like that. It's been a while. It's been a couple of years. So we've had a couple presidents, I think. A couple presidents since then. So it's been a little bit. It's been a little bit. But you'll understand why. I think I also mentioned, well, I can say Gavin joked about us doing like a live reading of something, and we relaunched my YouTube, so we'll talk more about that later. Some other point, but it's all related. It's all related. Gavin, how are you?
I'm well. I was just trying to go over these notes again. I lost them earlier, so I got to refresh myself. I got to remember what we can say, what we can't say.
So we will have a time for questions if you want. If you don't feel comfortable coming up, that's okay. Don't have to come up, but you can submit them in, we'll probably do the AMA questions channel, or actually we even have a chat in here, but AMA questions channel. So if you don't want to come up, that's okay too. People don't want to come up on audio, that's not a problem. If you do, we'll see if we can bring some people up, see how much time we have to do that as well. I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces in here. Actually, there's some people that monitor, and there's some people that talk, and I can understand why, but man, and I cannot believe that I see empty debit card in here. Jeez Louise. That's a blast. It's good to see people, though, for sure, for real. It's been a long time. And I could, kind of give an update, but, I have been notorious for, not being able to pace myself in the sense that having anything explained in less than 20 minutes. So I don't think we want to be here that long, although we can with questions. Gavin, I can pass the ball to you, and I can just talk over you and interrupt you if I want to add something. But you want to go ahead and lead us?
No worries. Yeah, we'll try to keep this fairly succinct. So, hello everyone. It's been a while. Let's see here. So just give some folks some updates and a bit of a timeline, and then a final status of where we're at right now. So as most of you remember, we sold the company to Belize. We had a new CEO. That was in 2023, the summer. Ian Richings was the new CEO of Zeta. That was going to be announced after the Genesis reveal and the first airdrop. First airdrop never happened, so we never did that. Let's see here. We closed down the Zeta US entity like in August that year. We got notified of the AML hold from the brokerage on November 15th in 2023. We followed up 90 days later, like their letter requested, and they requested a further 90 days. Then further into 2024, we were told it was a bank flag. There was some sort of an issue with the way the currency was deposited. We were connected to an individual who we referred to as General Zod by a community member who is a businessman in Abu Dhabi and Dubai and the UAE, which is where the brokerage is headquartered. And basically that's when we said that there was going to be a custodian. And I can't say who the custodian is at the moment, but basically the LP and the Gaxis guys just weren't providing, and the brokerage weren't providing the information they were supposed to provide, like basic stuff, and things started looking a little weird. So General Zod actually introduced us to a lawyer and said that we should stop contact with these Gaxis guys and we needed to do some stuff. So we ended all contact with the Gaxis half of the team in late 2024, and then we entered into court proceedings against the brokerage directly, along with their owner. 2025 was an interesting year. Because we had sold the company, we had to prove where the funds that went into the brokerage had come from. We had to prove that it came from a crypto project called XETA Capital, LLC, which was a Wyoming-based company, but then got sold to XETA LLC, a Belize company. that I was the former CEO. We eventually got to a point to where the court acknowledged that we had a right to enter into a dispute on behalf of the money, but then they said that I didn't have the rights to represent the company because I didn't own enough of the new entity. So that was a whole different situation, but we got it sorted. In mid 2025, we were able to give power of attorney to the law firm, and we have an advocate in Dubai who now officially represents all of our interests nationwide in Europe, the MENA, and North America. September 18th, we received a court order from the Court of Dubai finding our claims valid and the broker liable for damages, and we were given a ranged amount that they were liable for. Currently, we are waiting on collection efforts. End scene. That's where we're at right now. So obviously with the war in Iran and the situation in the UAE, we get updates every other day. Everyone's fine, but courts have been slow, and then we also had Ramadan, so that took some time, but we'll be hearing back tomorrow, so we'll get our first status on where we're at since the war began.
Since the war began, well, yeah, there's the literal war, and then there's the war on this front as well. So it's kind of like the general what's been going on now. You know, there's some things to kind of bear in mind. I'm sure something that somebody's wondering is, you know, where have you been? I haven't heard from you. You know, why does that take so long? Well, there's a number of reasons. Number one, we do not own the Discord. I've made that clear. Actually, I made that clear in late 23, early 24, that we didn't own the Discord. And so because we don't own the Discord, that means that anything that's written in there, even behind the scenes, communicating even with like the mods or the team, can all be read, right? And I mean, that server could just be deleted theoretically, but it hasn't happened so far. I think we're okay. And also in addition to that, you know, we were served with a fake lawsuit in Tennessee. So we had a civil proceedings that took, you know, what was it, 15, 16 months? So, you know, a number of reasons why that you don't want to just come out and trip your enemy up, right? Let your enemy fall. You know, I thought it was more important for us to get the money back, and I think Gavin would probably agree with me on that regard. Even though, you know, it would have been great to come on here and share some updates occasionally, but, you know, what we were noticing is that in IRL, in real life, as they say, the times we did come in and share updates, things were getting back to people. It was getting to be strange. So we just said, look, just for the betterment of this, you know, let our enemy think we're coming in here saying something, let them wait and let them wait and let them wait and let them wait. And unfortunately, you guys are just sort of there waiting along with them. And so, you know, we're doing that in order to get the money back, which is, I think, you know, more important. So that was one of the reasons for that. But, you know, it is kind of, it's frustrating because, you know, when people are saying things that are just, you know, blatantly untrue and, you know, trying to, you know, resist the efforts that we're doing behind the scenes, me and Gavin, and others, but mostly me and Gavin, it's frustrating. You want to come out and you want to say, no, this is actually what's happening. And you guys don't know your ass from a hole in the ground, frankly, sorry. And, you know, you just, if you do that and you start sharing things and all of a sudden people know how to thwart what you're doing, because I don't think anybody civilly, legally is interested in getting their money back, because people don't act that way if they're trying to get their money back. And, you know, I think certain people who were reading the chats that had access to reading the chats also wanted to make sure we didn't get our money back for you guys as well. So a couple of reasons as to why we had to sort of disappear from time to time. Legal's messy. It's very messy. Collections is messy. Civil lawsuits are messy. 15 months can go by, and you know, unfortunately, here in the United States, when you're served with something, you got to go defend it, even if it's bogus. You know, I've learned a little bit about some of the international court systems, and it's very different. It makes me a little jealous of how they have their system set up, where you have to prove things before you go to court. It's like, wow, that's a very different system. But here, it's like, yeah, all of a sudden, you just kind of have to zip it, unfortunately, because you got civil cases here and people filing false reports with agencies here and just lying through your teeth. So it's like, okay, well, you know, you can spend time trying to defend yourself left and right. Ultimately, you let the legal system do that, and you do what you need to do, which is the right thing, which in this sense is trying to recover the funds for everybody. So hopefully that in of itself makes sense. Gavin, you want to say something on that regard?
I just wanted to remind everybody that it's not that hard. Like, I read the things people post, even though I couldn't reply. It's not that hard to know where the money went. We have one treasury wallet. One. It's a blockchain. Nobody can fudge it. We have one treasury wallet. Gaxis had one outbound wallet. The tokens went from one wallet to the other to an exchange. It's very easy for people to track. So these folks weren't that clever, or as clever as they thought. But everybody, that's not the difficult part. The difficult part wasn't finding the money. It was proving that it was ours.
Yeah, and primarily for a couple reasons. Because number one, the company was sold. We were going public. That was obviously shared. And in fact, I remember saying even from day one, we were in the USA temporarily, and the plan all along was eventually, migrate internationally, and for various reasons. So that was always a plan, right? And going public sort of came later. But because the company was sold, that was a very difficult time to try to prove you had access to anything, right? You weren't owned anymore. And given the fact that we didn't trade, we didn't have access to people's funds, that makes it even more difficult. So, hey, I'm Matthew Sgherzi with XETA Capital. I want my $100 million or whatever it is, or $50 million or $500 million. Pay me. Prove it. Okay, well, I'll be back. Yeah, that's a little bit of time. And, meanwhile, there's FUD left and there's FUD right, and there's, lawsuits and all. It's just distractions. But trying to prove that you have a claimancy for the community after the company's been sold when you didn't have access to the trading in the first place in terms of, doing the trading, it's not easy. It's not an easy job. It's not an easy task. But thank God, by the Lord's will, we were able to pull it off. It wasn't easy, though. And it takes time. It takes a lot of time. I mean, if you look at the civil case, it was a filed in January, I believe, of 25. It's a long time ago. It was 15 months. So that's a civil case that never even went to court. So imagine you get a judgment against somebody who owned a brokerage that scammed people, lied, did all sorts of stuff, and it's a large amount, and you have to collect it. Proving it and then collecting it, right? Two monumental tasks, especially when you don't have a ton of evidence to do it. So anyway, that's kind of just painting the picture a little bit. But yeah, our smart contract, just a reminder, but it was audited by Hacking. There's no funny business with, well, this goes here and then it transfers to Gavin Minty's wallet, and then it goes to Matthew Sgherzi's wallet, and he sent it to Madden King to launder, and then it went to I don't know, some other person, went to Donald Trump. All these crazy harebrained schemes and theories. The smart contract was audited. Right, got a 10 out of 10 from Hacking. There's one treasury wallet that it went to. That one treasury wallet had one outbound wallet owned by Gaxis that went to one exchange. It's not brain surgery. And I can do that even without an MBA. Gavin, you want to say something about that?
I got lost. I got lost counting to one. So now I see where the error was made by these people. I get it now.
Anyway. Any questions? I mean, I know that was pretty quick. Trust me, if it was me, I would have been talking for a long time. But yeah, I think we keep it kind of concise. I mean, if there's any questions people had. We have the AMA questions channel. I'm not seeing any questions in there at the moment. If we don't have any questions, and that is pretty straightforward. But this is being recorded, by the way, so I'll upload this. Debating whether I'll probably upload it on my personal YouTube channel, maybe XETA's, either way, if I can even get access to that. But we'll regardless, we'll figure out where to upload it to, and people will be able to go back and watch it. We could probably, maybe, I'm putting Gavin on the spot here, but we could probably maybe do at some point a follow-up with questions, because this may be one of those things where you go back and you have to re-listen again, and you're kind of, oh, I have a question now based on how I heard something. So if that's the case, we could probably do a follow-up, or I'll do a follow-up by myself, or just Gavin or somebody. But if there's nothing else, I'm not seeing any questions or hands raised. Gavin, anything you want to say before we jump off?
I see one.
Yeah, somebody's asking timeline for collection.
I have no idea. First time you, first time me.
Yeah, it's a tough. That's a tough question. I mean, timeline for collection. If it were me, yesterday. It's not me, in the sense that I can push a button and make it happen. I've never been involved in a collection of this level. with all of the distractions included and whatnot. So I wish I could answer that with some specificity, some particularity, but I don't have the ability to do that. I'm sorry. But soon is what my hope is, and that's my prayer as well. Be soon. Orca Blues asking a question, Gavin. Honestly, guys, if you don't have, I don't know, maybe you don't have access to AMA questions channel or something, just write it anywhere. I don't care. Zeta chat's fine. Orca Blues asking that we have a bunch of people here. Is there anything anyone can do to help? Even if it's nothing. If there's nothing, then there's nothing. I don't know how to answer that really, to be honest, because there's only so much legally that can be shared. And without sharing, at this point, since there's been a judgment awarded in instant collections, I don't know really anyway what people could do. There might be follow-on legal action after this collection. It's always possible. But yeah, I don't. That's another topic for another day. I don't know. Do you have anything they want to add to that, Gavin? A chance?
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay. We do have a request, so actively investing passively will bring you up.
Hey, good to hear from you.
Guys, you're listening to two of me right now. I'd make that joke, by the way, because that was once made. So anyway, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, just curious. There's a couple questions in the AMA chat here, but I was curious, are you able to share any details around if the value that was awarded in damages, is that enough to cover the full value of the NFTs, or is it partial? Are you able to go into that at all?
No.
Not at this point.
There's a couple of things, not at the moment, and the reason is because of something I just alluded to, which there could be follow-on legal action after the fact. Maybe, I'm not saying there will be. It depends on certain, I'll just say facets that are found out that might be able to get more. But the challenge is there's what's awarded and then there's what's collectible, right? Now again, I've not been through this. Maybe you've been through this. I haven't been through this before. And if someone comes and says you owe me $1 billion, but you don't have $1 billion, it's a little challenging to collect it. So instead of giving a number, which I don't know if I feel it'd be a little irresponsible to give a number, just because I don't know if it's collectible, and then it has to be paid out in a certain way, and that's a whole liquidation. It's a very complex process. So I just would rather not give a number, especially because everybody likes to construe things, or misconstrue things, I should say.
Yep, that's fair.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
That's all I have.
I don't know if I've ever heard from you before, to be honest.
I think this is the first time. We've never been in the same room at the same time, so there's always that question out there. Are we the same person?
First time caller, long time listener.
Yeah, so I just got told what I can share is it fully covers all deposits into Zeta treasuries.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's that beats a bare minimum at least, right? So does that answer your question? I think kind of.
It does.
Okay,
yep,
great.
it helps. Yep, thank you.
Cool, man. Appreciate you. Good to hear from you. If there's anybody else, I don't see any other hands up at the moment. Do have some questions though. Let me see if I can pull these up. Will there be another Zeta project or similar? Not prepared to talk about that right now. Right now, the goal is to get this recovered, right? As far as the confidence on the full amount, I think that was kind of just answered. It just guys, it depends. It's a big range. Okay, so it's a big range. How liquidation is going to work specifically would definitely be a legal question. I definitely am not knowledgeable enough to answer that, though I'd love to. Oh, and Gavin, I want to remind you, I think unless you want to comment on what I just said, I saw you unmute yourself. Did you want to say something before I brought something up?
I was debating because we're doing such a good job on not getting in trouble.
We
we
don't
don't know exactly all the processes, but I mean, I think the basic gist of it is people will have to KYC. There'll be a full process where people submit their claims, and then people are paid out. At no point am I going to have custody of the funds. So, inshallah, we'll have a custodian, and the law firm will handle the distribution. But people have to prove what they put in. So unlike a Tennessee court where you can be a fast food cook at McDonald's and say that I stole $9 million from you, we're gonna have to verify what people actually put in before we send it out.
Yeah. Uncharted. Asking questions about Uncharted, and that was actually why I was going to bring up. You wanted to give a shout out to a couple people, but it kind of involved a little bit of the question on Uncharted because it was a different fund.
Yeah. So, well, for the Uncharted, people are gonna have to go contact Johnny Seymour and Mark John Tull. That's Mark Johnson's real name, and find out where their money's at. As far as shout outs go, I did have a shout out. There's a gentleman, he's no longer with us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala azza wa jal be merciful with him. But Carl Dawkins was a gentleman who ran some sort of a duck NFT project, and he got swindled through a XETA clone type project that was ran by the same schemers that tried to get one over on us. And this gentleman, even though he was being lied about by the same people that were lying about us, Carl Dawkins flat out is the one that cracked the nut for us. This guy was going back and forth, and he was taking conversations that he was having with the same IB that we had and the owner of the brokerage, and he's the one that was actually able to tie the movement of money directly to the owner of the brokerage. And that was because of Carl Dawkins. And once we had that, then we were able to hold the owner of the brokerage personally liable so that he couldn't just close up his company and declare bankruptcy. So now all of his real estate assets are all being liquidated. Or whatever. That's not allegedly, whatever the legal way of saying what's going to happen to somebody. Allegedly, maybe. However they do it.
We are aware of two people that passed away while they were waiting for their money. There was a second person, wasn't there, Gavin?
Well, yeah, there was my boy Pat. He's a gentleman from the UK. He was a former musician in a band called Baby Shambles. He was a XETA member. He was a good guy, and unfortunately, he had some health complications, and he passed away. So it's a shame.
I didn't.
You know,
I didn't know Carl as well as Gavin did, but literally, I think my last conversation with him, it was interesting because I didn't know him that well. It was about bitterness and him being bitter at certain people who were lying about him. And I was telling him, even though it's not easy to do, it's not a simple thing to try to forgive your enemy, because it's actually healing for you. It's not letting people off the hook because and I don't know if he's a believer or not. I have no idea, but that was I quote scripture anyway, and I was trying to tell him sowing and reaping is a real thing. So that was literally the last conversation I had with him, and that was like maybe one of the only conversations I had with him. Frank, he's a nice guy though. I felt really bad. His situation was not great. How would proof of ownership be provided to KYC process, Dreamer? So whatever the KYC processor would request, it would be some degree of documentation.
KYC service providers have a proof of wallet ownership sub-service they offer.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, just post your questions in XETA chat. We're in here. That's fine. You don't have to do if the AMA question channel is having an issue. You can just post it in XETA chat. We're in the chat that's in here. That's okay too.
And just so everyone's aware, tomorrow when we meet with our lawyers in Dubai, the first thing I'm going to ask them is to go over which documents we can release to the community, because there's just certain things where, well, whatever. I'm always being surprised about what you can't say, even though I think it's innocuous. But we'll see what we can provide, because they're just basic things that people say that are just easy to disprove. So, things like there is no trading, there is no brokerage, there was no IB, there were no accounts at equity, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I thought there was no trading. It's really strange. There was no trading. I don't know.
Yeah.
The story changes by the day. I'm glad just to go back to it. I'm glad the court saw through the lies and the deceit. It's good. It's good to have a third party, vindicate you. People are lying. Yeah. Hey, Keith, how you doing? You're doing well. Is the process through DeFi? Well, yeah, I mean the process. Dan Scan, you're not from the U.S., so there will be some sort of KYC and AML process. Okay, that proves that you own your wallet and that wallet did X and you're owed Y. So it's a KYC process. So that's how that will work. Airborne, you came in late. Might refer you to the recording if you don't mind. Just want to keep repeating, but Bernie Nice distracted me. But yeah, we're in collections right now on a court judgment.
Yeah, so it's actually funny. When I gave y'all the last update and I said that we couldn't make comments due to people we were litigating against, and then a certain group of retards in Tennessee were confused because what do you say? Litigating makes it sound like he brought the suit. Yes, because there are lawsuits that aren't in Tennessee that we're involved in, because Tennessee has nothing to do with Zeta. What has to do with Zeta is Gaxis Holdings in the UK and Switzerland, and the brokerages, Equity, and another one that I'm not allowed to name at the moment that I'm waiting to get clearance on.
Some people are saying they don't have.
Oh, here's a fun one. Here's a fun. Oh,
sorry, go ahead. Sorry, I was just going to comment on the sound. Try unmuting or try turning your speakers up because I know people are responding, like Keith. So I know you can definitely hear us. Go ahead, Gavin. Sorry.
Oh, well, I guess I could spill some tea. There's another company. There's a Vortex FX, which is a company that Daniel Kingsley tried to start with money he tried to steal from Zeta. There's that one too. Forgot about that one.
Oops. Yeah, oopsies. Try to unmute, guys, if you can't hear. Oh, why is OTC taking so long? It is good to see everybody, though, I gotta admit. It's been a long time. Yeah, guys, there's a lot of information to be put out. It's got to be done in an orderly fashion. And it's not just talking about legal stuff. It's talking about the story. You know, there's been a joke. It's tongue-in-cheek, I'll say, to be honest with you, about a movie. It's a tongue-in-cheek because it would be a great movie and you wouldn't have to add any fiction into it. The story's right in itself. So it would be a great movie. Maybe we'll do it still. But yeah, there's a lot. And you know, once collections is done, once everybody is officially tossed out of court for being known the liars that they are, then we can share more. It'd be a really crazy, if anybody would care at that point. I don't even know if anybody would care at that point, but might be somewhat interested, I would think, at least. A big tie, that would be done automatically, to be honest. How would you determine how much you put in? It's the blockchain, so since the blockchain's immutable, you can't modify it. You can't steal something in the blockchain. You know you stole it. That's what makes DLT and blockchain revolutionary and makes it so great for DeFi and all sorts of democratization, is because it's immutable. It's there. It can't be hacked, can't be changed, can't be modified. So all that to say that during the process, it would know what you put in, right? Yeah, CWAG, definitely a little too early to determine that.
What was the question?
Coin velocity and changing and zones, it's just too early to determine that. Sorry, buddy. I don't mean to give you a short answer there to your long question. The SEBIX, one and the same. So one of the Lord's will in this is that you know, you guys have NFTs, right? So that's a divisible amount based on, I guess you would call it fractional shares, right? So it's very easy to determine. It'll be a lot of things will be taken into determination and consideration with that. But that's, you know, that's a regulation legal thing more than it is a Matthew Sgherzi Gavin Minty thing.
Yeah, well, my theory would be that if there was a pot of money that had to be distributed evenly based on participation in the project, the NFTs would be a weighted distribution method. It just makes sense, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. It's not financial or legal advice, everybody. I said maybe.
Yeah, don't sue me in the state of Wyoming and claim that I stole $30 million and can settle for $2,000, or try to claim I did something in Tennessee. Just answering the question.
And don't say that I own Walmart and a bunch of other companies that I don't own and have never had ownership stock in. You can't just accuse me of owning every company I've ever worked at. Turns out it doesn't work that way.
You know, ambiguity is a heck of a thing. It's a logical fallacy, but ambiguity, I'll tell you what, you get enough people saying you stole a Declaration of Independence under a full moon over Osiris. You know, you get enough people to say that and you spin enough narratives, you never know. You never know. You could get sued for it in court, in fact. And all of a sudden it looks like it's true. Even Bloomberg will write about it. Imagine that. More of a statement, but this is an epic community of folks. I'm sure we'll all share solid strategy as this progresses and collection/liquidation unfolds. I agree. Thanks, Endless. I don't know if we've ever spoken, to be honest, but sometimes I see a message from somebody and I'm like, who's that? And then you realize they've been in the Discord for a long time and they've never written. It's very, very profound. I had a great conversation with someone yesterday that I would say fall in that category as well. Guts, it wasn't frozen, it was snapped. It was a snapshot. So referring to the NFTs, there was a snapshot taken at the point that I made that announcement. So that snapshot's still legitimate. But again, is a KYC AML. Those are things you have to do on the way out. So it still would have to be done regardless. Lazy Bear, probably a legal question, candidly, but you know, we have a snapshot at that point in time. What was bought, sold. It's going to be without any legal or financial or any kind of advice. I'm going to give you my best guess what might be said. Okay, it's going to be probably a combination between NFT ownership, what was put in, and how to figure out what is the proper way to do that. Okay, hope that helps. Eagle Rocks is still rocking the NFT, I see.
And just to be candid, we can't say everything we're working on because there's people that are being worked on that don't know they're being worked on, and that's the best time.
That's actually a really good way of putting it. Yeah, being worked on. That's a great way of putting it, actually. Yeah, so guys, it's not a matter of, hey, I know something you don't. It's a matter of, I know something that's super duper important that has to be seen through to its finality. I'm not going to let a bunch of internet troll losers on the internet try to ruin that for other people, right? I had a couple friends who had black accounts who were not in Discord. Can they join Discord now? Yeah, I don't see why not. Yeah, feel free to send them the invite. They can join. I might have to manually approve them or something. I'm not sure. It's been a long time, but yeah, they can join. Did the wallet funds grow during this delay, Gavin?
No.
There's your answer. No. Yeah, it'll be recorded and posted. Probably YouTube be the easiest place for everybody publicly, even the people who are removed from Discord because they were rude or just outlandish or just being jerks. Probably be a good place to post it would be on YouTube, but yeah, maybe in here too. Sorry, Gavin, I think I interrupted you.
No worries. The court also took a degree of realism into account. So we could say, well, this was the reported earnings for X amount of time, so extrapolated out for X amount of days, and this is what we're owed. You could say if somebody owes you $2 billion, they don't have $2 billion, they're not going to award that. So we were able to prove based on the most senior snapshot that we had that we could prove was from their database. And so we had a number to work off, and then the court supplemented that with additional monies based on stuff.
Yes. Hope that helps.
Because to answer your question, I tried to sue this dude for whatever the maximum, like I was trying to go for the maximum rate of what you can sue for damages. And I was like, yeah, every month this guy's made my life miserable because he tried to sue us. By the way, we've actually seen the text message between the owner of the brokerage and the Gaxis guys talking about how they were going to do X, Y, and Z. So I know what these guys were thinking when they did it. That's why it's so difficult for me not just to get up here, blast his name and his company and his address, and his company's address and all the stuff his wife owns and blah 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 blah. But
His
gotta
tattoo,
wait.
the location of his tattoos, his phone number, his license plates, the apartment he owns, the flat. Yeah, everything. There's a lot of work goes into tracking this stuff down, folks.
Oh, but there are people we can mention. So there's a gentleman named Navin Ball, and I'd be happy to supply his information to anybody that wants it. He was our introducer broker to Equity and ECG. He got paid commissions off of the money that he tried to steal from us. So that's the thing.
Navin Ball.
We'll have a different tell-all session, but it's been I don't want to say an interesting couple of years. It's just been stuff that you would never believe. It's
So Big Ty, why did they do what they did? I don't know who they are. I'm assuming you mean the people who were in charge of the funds.
Daniel Kingsley, Mark Toll, Navin Ball, Braden Palmer. I don't know. Yeah, me and Matt asked that question a lot. Even our lawyers have asked that question because the company was making so much money. Why would you ruin it for a one-time payout when we were on trajectory to make more than that? Like we said, contrary to what people say, we never lied about anything. We were 2/3 of the way to going public. We literally had to hand over to the CFTC our documents where we picked out the ticker on the NASDAQ. So, yeah, it caught us all flat-footed, which is maybe why they did it when they did it. But we've also heard rumors, and this is all conjecture, but we heard rumors there was an argument internally, and since then we've had multiple people that have either worked for them and not gotten paid or done X, Y, and Z. They've all flipped, and we've gotten various bits of information from different people. So truthfully, I don't know. I guess they just wanted to try to make some money and then have great fall guys and then have a couple little gremlins in a telegram that they're paying to try to keep us off the trail.
Yeah, interesting. There seems to be two people, and by the way, I'm not like attempting to throw anybody under the bus with this statement, so I'll preface that. There's two people who have been doing nothing since this happened to try to recover these funds. That's me, that's Gavin. There's two people who have been attacked relentlessly since this happened. That's me, that's Gavin. I'll let you piece those puzzle pieces together for yourself. I know you guys are much smarter than they are. But yeah, Big Ty, I can give you a spiritual answer that's going to take me 20 minutes, but I won't go there. Yeah. Anyway, people do things they do. It's hard to get into a mind of why they do it.
Well, I also think they might be borderline retarded because I think they forget that we documented everything. That's another thing. There's all these allegations that somehow things weren't documented or weren't traceable. It's a blockchain, and we have contracts for everything, and we have account numbers. It was not rocket science.
You know how
it was just very strange for the court to like understand what they were reading because the perpetrators were so blatant.
You know how difficult it is to sit on the truth that can, in 5 minutes, destroy somebody, and you're just sitting there for 2 years waiting for the right time? Not easy. Not easy. And that goes for Rodney and McGibbon and my brother and Daniel Kingsley and Braden Palmer and Mark Toll and this person. You name them. You name it.
And the fake rabbi, right? Michael L. Cohen?
The fake rabbi.
The guy who, the guy who claimed that he didn't put any money in Zeta, that he was in a unique position because he didn't lose money in Zeta like everyone else because he was paid in zones for work he did. But somehow he's suing us as a victim. By the way, he never worked for us. He never worked for us. He's just some dude in Israel who decided to create a persona and pretend like he was a former Zeta employee, and then he changed his name to Panda BJ and kept it up.
Yeah,
it's strange.
I think there was a lot of opportunists as well. There's a lot of people who they see an opportunity and they can jump on it. And like I said, ambiguity. It's a heck of a thing when you can mix things together. You have no idea what you're going to get, but boy, does it look accurate. Ambiguity. All of a sudden, I worked for them and I got paid in zones. Nobody knows who this guy is. Nobody knows who he is, and he's
And the people
anyway.
that worked for us got paid in money. For the record, the contractors were all paid in money, not zones or tokens.
So anyway, people like that, people like Joshua, other names I'm not going to mention for reasons, but yeah, it's just everybody saw an opportunity to jump on a train. They were so sure that I was sitting on however much money they thought I was sitting on, and is his family trust revocable? Is it irrevocable? Let's get his father-in-law involved. Let's get the church involved. It's all it all failed. It all failed. And that's the reality of it. It failed. And they're going to have to live with that failure. They're going to try it again, but it's not going to work. This is a new day and a new age and new era. And I think personally, God's coming in to decapitate people, spiritually speaking. It's just my opinion. But any other questions, folks? You think I can answer? I know we're getting through them. Actually, I'll check Zeta chat real quick. Sorry. Wasn't checking Zeta chat for a minute there. Because Gavin, James is asking about Uncharted again.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add to that?
What is he asking about specifically?
There's not much that can be done for those who invested in the Uncharted NFTs after all, is his question.
We'll see. I can't give any promises. We do have a couple other projects that are attached to us. So basically what these guys did was, Zeta was the most successful of this type of thing they tried to pull. Like I mentioned, Carl Dawkins did the Duck Race Derby thing where he raised funds, try to put it into an NFT that represented the store of value that could then be put into a trading account. They did it. I can't say too much, but there's a couple other firms like in the UK that they hit up and did this too, and they tried to do a couple pop-ups. These people, he'd even tried to make more Zetas. Yeah, imagine my shock when I see people mentioning me in a Reddit account in 2025, talk about some new company in the UK called XETA Capital Limited, and people are talking about me. Oh, this is the former CEO of XETA Capital is being sued for RICO, and I'm like, what the hell? I don't have any new companies, and I wouldn't name them Zeta.
Guys, if I'm lying, I'm flying. There is another Zeta Capital that exists right now. I swear to you, I'm not making that up. Zeta Capital, ZetaCapital.me, ZetaCapital.me. I don't know who owns it. I can guess. I can probably guess, but I'm not gonna guess. Crossblitz. Best listen to the recording. I don't know when you jumped in, but it's in collections. Is the answer to your question. How I wish Zeta were still working. What you guys did was what no one else could do. Thanks, Dan Scanna. Appreciate you saying that.
Well, to be candid, well, thank you. But the system worked. We did what we were supposed to do. Lord knows you guys did what you were supposed to do. It's just a certain group of people elected not to do what they were supposed to do.
That is definitely one way to put it. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I figured it out. I was going to say, nobody could figure it out because they would have made more money in the long term than the short term than what they did try to make.
That must
but I forgot criminals, they can't do an honest day's labor. That's their problem. Yeah, it's not the arithmetic that messes them up. It's the effort.
Who would have thought? Yeah. It was, I will say it was great, when it was running. It was great. It was anyway, the whole thing I can go on with that, but Wilco, I don't know if that's the same one. Probably. Yeah, probably. Who knows? We'll probably have to keep the community up in some way or something. I'll make something, whatever. It won't go bye-bye though. Go quiet maybe, but not bye-bye. And here I told my wife, I said, no, this is gonna be a really quick AMA, we can explain this in like 5 minutes. She's like, nah, it's gonna take a while. My wife knows me better than I know myself. Which is fine. We're 45 minutes in. We can keep going. If you guys have any Any questions? Yeah, Dan, yeah, that backup channel is owned by myself. I went and created that, at the time. Now Brad's disappeared, so I think Brad's probably gone, but who knows? You never know.
I heard he got arrested.
I heard Brad got arrested.
He got
I don't know if
arrested.
that's true or not. Yeah, I heard he got arrested back in November. I don't know if that's true, by the way. It may be. It may not be. I don't know. I'm in such great contact with the FBI, so yeah, maybe I should find out, right? Allegedly.
Yeah, can't confirm. I have never been raided by the FBI or any government agency. My house has never been raided. I have never been violated.
In
that way.
I will say that, back when okay, I'm gonna drop this. Yeah, I think it's okay. By the way, the stupid this isn't really Zeta related, but it kind of is a little bit, just to give you an idea of the interlocking groups that exist. That stupid freeway lawsuit that I'm involved in, right? The guy that got into the project before I did. I didn't even know about freeway. This guy gets into it. Anyway, so the guy that was representing the ledger score folks, I'm trying to be nice with my words, talks to the Zeta Telegram trolls at the same time, because two things were said simultaneously, one privately, one publicly. So that's how I know about something to do with the FBI. I was like, no. He's like, hey, ask your client if you talk to the FBI. I said, no. I did see somebody in the park once. Was walking a dog. He had a polo shirt. I saw a name tag. You never know. I could have been, but no. All that silliness is silliness. I did talk to the FBI once, but it wasn't about me. I'll just put that out there.
Or me, guys. Calm down.
Or Gavin, yeah.
Right?
I'll clarify, yes. Was my family member suing me? That's a great question, Jay Good. I'm glad you asked that. Yes, if you want to use that term in the way you're using it, yes. There's more I could say on that, but yeah, I'm gonna refrain from saying it. My brother claims he's owed, I think the number was $300,000. That's a little hard for me to believe, given that the commissary.
How does a lunch lady get $400,000?
It's a little hard to believe, according to the fact that the commissary salary on Nellis Air Force Base in Vegas is like $30,000 a year. So how is he able to put $350,000 in? And his girlfriend makes less than that. So it doesn't make sense to me. But the $50,000 car is maybe worth it in the long run. I don't know. Yeah, Vince McMahon. That's the username that he goes by. I notice always people like, guys, I don't know what it is. I could probably get into this. It's a deeper thing, but people hide their faces, they hide their names, and they hide their voices. It's very strange. It's just very strange.
Remember when McGibbon was throwing all our personal information out there? So all I did was mistype some of his relatives' names so they were unintelligible, but we knew who he was.
Mm-hmm.
And then he disappeared for a while. He got all worried. Oh my God, how'd they know? Which is hilarious how we found out, by the way.
Yeah. Bring the Trump bot back. Yeah, maybe. Trump bot. I remember that. Gee whiz. I don't know why so many people are saying they can't hear, but I know a lot of people can hear because there's responses. So maybe just wait for the recording, guys. I don't know. Unmute, check your settings. I don't know. Your output may be different. That may be something you want to check is your output settings. If anybody can type that. Thanks, Wilka. Appreciate it. You know what? God removes people from your life for a reason, and you have to look at it as a blessing. The reason you look at it as a blessing and not an issue is because God heard conversations that you didn't hear, and thank God he did. No pun intended, but so he's going to remove them just like he removed Joseph's brothers. Joseph's brothers could not go on that journey; they were just there at the end, so they were used, right? So you can't, like, even though it's difficult, you can't look at it like, well, your mom and your brother and in-laws and all this. It's listen, there's things that get revealed to you over time, and it's a blessing. Even though it may be kind of hard to look at it in that sense, but it's always a blessing when God can remove somebody because they are poisonous and you don't know it. Because otherwise, things will get a lot worse later.
Hey, Matt, weren't they trying to sue us in Tennessee, and we got it dismissed for jurisdiction? But they claimed that Maddie King, who lives in Tennessee, laundered all the money. That's what they said in their lawsuit. They said that he was our agent. He never worked for us, ever. Maddie is nothing more than a user. He deposited like all the rest of you. But anyway, they claimed he laundered all the money. How come he wasn't a defendant? Wouldn't that be a closed, open and shut case? The guy who laundered all the money lives in the city that we're being sued in?
That is weird.
Strange.
That is weird.
It's almost like it was just an attempt to have our names attached to some defamatory, ridiculous case that said RICO and tied PCC together and had all these libelous claims and big words with no facts.
Don't forget rewriting it 900 times just to extend the time clock a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, just so everyone's aware, you can go check the PACE report. They submitted it. Our lawyers laughed at it. We submitted a dismissal. They rewrote it 5 or 6 times, and it still got dismissed. Because according to the judge, they didn't say anything.
And Gent is asking if the broker can appeal. I don't think so. No. I'm pretty sure no. It doesn't work like that in other countries. It's this specific country, I'm pretty sure it does not work that way. Well, they would have done it already, I can tell you that. For sure. Because you only get a small, I don't know if you guys know, there's a very small window to appeal judgments. And it's long beyond that window for them to even do it. As far as interest being agreed on it.
The last I heard, he was begging to let him pay less as long as he'll roll over on the other people that were involved. We did not take that deal. I want to bleed this guy for every cent he has, every last dinar. He's paying the dia, for those of you who are in the know. Yeah, I'll take everything from this guy. I don't care if his grandkids have to go to public school. Not my problem.
Imagine that. Are they accruing interest on their? I mean, no, the judgment is what it is. So it's just the process of collection and whatnot. And what comes after that is that's a different conversation altogether. No, your gift days are never up, Priggy. In fact, we're gonna set up a bot so that when you die, I don't mean to be grim. Sorry, it's a bad joke. When you die, the gifts are still gonna come. Bad joke.
I gotta know. Did you guys really think we left? You really thought we gave up? I will chase these creatures till the end of the earth. Till the day of judgment itself, I will chase these bastards.
I made a joke to the mods a while back that I'll resurrect myself if they kill me and come back. Wait until you see the death threats. Wait until you see that. Not just from the Gaxus guys either, by the way. If we do get anything back, will we only get back what we put over the plot? Danny boy, it's up for collections, right? It'll be a collection process. It'll be a liquidation process. It'll be a KYC AML. That's the whole legal thing. It's just kind of stand by for that if you don't mind, because it's a big range. To be honest with you, it's a big range. What's being awarded?
And just so everyone knows, I guess you can Google it. It's a liquidation process. It's not like a secret thing. It's a pretty standard thing.
Yeah, we're all going through it together. We don't have an ETA. Nothing concrete. We are having a meeting here very shortly, though. I'll just leave it there. We're having a meeting shortly. Yeah, Guts, I gotta tell you, when the missiles started flying, I don't know if I'll get shadow banned on YouTube for using the word missile, probably. But when the missiles were flying, it was during Ramadan, and now all of a sudden, I guess in just the whole GCC area, the flooding is like, I can't believe the videos I'm seeing. It's insane. Lightning and thunder, and it's hitting buildings, and it's like the second coming. So I was like, oh boy, of course. Hey guys, sorry,
My
your money
body's
got
ready.
washed away and blew up. Sorry. Sorry, what'd you say, Gavin?
Nothing. I'm ready.
Ready to. So we've been going about 55 minutes, just under an hour. We can keep going a little bit, if you guys mind or don't mind. I don't know. Gavin, you have somewhere to be?
Right here, right now, with y'all.
Lazy Bear, I just saw your question. You have to open up the chat in the main stage. It's a separate. I didn't see it for the first few minutes actually myself. I had to click something to open it up. Dan Scanner, we're still working with them, so done the collections process. It's, I mean, the legal and the collections, we are basically the interface between them and you guys. Other legal will come in, but so yeah, I mean, we're still involved. Wilco, there's so much going on. It's hard to celebrate anything. If I'm being honest with you, if I can be honest with you. How do you celebrate the verdict? Hey, Gavin, how do you celebrate the verdict? How do you celebrate?
It was like a Wednesday. Oh man.
Yeah.
I think you called me and I went and prayed Maghrib afterwards. So it was good timing.
Yeah, it's tough. It's you move on from one thing to the next. To be very honest with you.
Well, but also I got to share with you guys that lawsuit was so dumb. It was so dumb. It's we have other things that we're working on that are more important. I lost respect for people that were asking me about the lawsuit in the Zeta chat. You people were in the frippin' project. You can read what they were writing. Some of you lived it. Not all of you were in PCC, but even the stuff they were saying, I couldn't believe it. I had to defend that freaking project. Just the stuff they were saying was just wrong. Or they were saying true things, but alleging that they lied about it. Like that they weren't at the House of Lords when the pictures and the newspaper articles of them being there are public, or that they weren't represented by a law firm that they actually were represented by. It was laughable. Like, it really was bad. There was typos in it. I mean, every lawyer we spoke to said it was a joke, and we couldn't figure out why someone would actually file that in federal court. It got laughed out of court. The judge in his comments in our everyone go look at it. Go look at it. McGibbon was called negligent in his information. They said that they didn't even have to look at our evidence. That's what he said. He said we don't even have to look at the evidence from Matthew Sgherzi and Gavin Minty. That's how poorly written it was. Literally, all they did was use the biggest buzzwords they could so that when you Google our names, it comes up. So that when we would bring up suits against them in other countries, they would reference that fucking lawsuit and say, well, these guys are being accused of running a crypto scam. They just want to get this money because it's the money they wanted to steal from people. The freaking owner of the brokerage in court tried to say that it wasn't bad because he scammed us, but we were scammers. And he used that fucking court case in Tennessee to say that we had stole the money from people. So he just stole from us. Wallahi, that's what he said in court. So again, I don't know who the fuck Daniel McGibbon's working for, but it's either Satan or Daniel Kingsley. Or both. Or some combination thereof.
One and the same. Yeah, I was going to say, it's not very... Let me put it to you this way. It throws a monkey wrench into things when you are trying to go and get community funds back. And of all of the challenges already presented, selling the company, not doing the trading, this, that, and the third, and you're trying to prove all that. In the meantime, well, you're the one being sued in the United States. What are you talking about? You must have been the one to steal it. What are you talking about? RICO, fraud, this, that, government agency, this. I mean, think about how easy it is for people to get off the hook in that sense. It's a lot easier, right? It's a distraction, but it's a useful distraction.
Yeah, useful for whom? Weird.
Chuck
See, it's
Finley,
weird
man.
because
Hey.
Matt, when you got sued in that fake Freeway lawsuit, they sued everybody that had ever been mentioned by Freeway because they were trying to freaking what's it called? They were trying to what's that word? Extort. They were just trying to extort money from you. You're liable for $15 million in damages, but we can settle out of court right now for $9.99 and a Big Mac.
Yeah. Well, I will say this. I mean, look, you can. yeah, to get upset at that. Of course, it's ridiculous. But if you talk to enough lawyers, and I've talked to a few, as you know, suing a bunch of people at one time isn't that uncommon. It's actually a fairly common tactic because the idea is, look, you take everybody who breathes oxygen to court, right? Make them defend themselves. That's a common tactic, not unusual. I mean, I think they even sued the event coordinator, if I'm not mistaken, the freeway thing. So I understand why they did it. What I don't understand is why this Tennessee case didn't do it. That's what doesn't make any sense. There's a lot of people that were left off of that. And ironically, you and I from Zeta, the ones on there, who's trying to get the money.
The only ones involved
Strange.
in the foreign lawsuits. Strange, weird. Kind of like with Daniel Kingsley telling us that there's a list being created and our names are on it. Joke.
Weird. Yeah. Anyway, shout out Chuck Finley. How you doing, man? It's good to see you. Long time. Trying to see if there's any other questions. I'm hopping back and forth. Forgive me. We're a little over an hour. We can end this shortly, I think. Let's see. Ownership has been proven. Yes, very nice. We're waiting on collections. That's a process.
Oh, our case. Yeah, the court found us. We won. Yeah, he definitely did it.
He did it.
You know, when you have the truth, you don't have to paint together a narrative and make things up. That's the thing that gets me. It's not a group of people. Like when some of you people say dumb things, I'm like, well, I'm just trying to piece it together. There are people who literally know things that say the opposite and lie because they like the attention they get in these groups. It's disgusting. It's like OF girl behavior. Low tier.
Wow. Low tier. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I guess can we do this again? Yeah, Wilco, we're going to do this again. In fact, I'm reviving my YouTube channel. It's going to be a little different for a little while, but it'll be Zeta related. It's not just me getting on there and, messing around. It'll be Zeta related. But yeah, we'll do this again. We'll do this again for sure. There's going to be questions. In fact, I'm willing to bet those of you who were here, when you watch the recording, you'll have other questions. And those, of course, who were not here will have questions. So just be great to kind of knock them all out one time. There's a great saying, is that the truth has a certain ring to it. Hemingway said that, by the way. It also means a lie has a certain ring to it as well. We'll give it a couple minutes, a little over an hour. I don't see any other questions at the moment. When's Zeta Part due?
Jeez. Yeah, as soon as we get a few other things wrapped up. There was nothing wrong with what we built.
Too soon, sir. That's what I would tell you. Too soon. Thanks, Endless. Appreciate your kind words, man. Kind of like a last call around. Anybody has any questions? Last call around. Come one, come all. Give me a little time to post this, guys. It's late on a Friday, and yeah, I got a family thing, so just give me some time. If it's not tonight, it'll be probably tomorrow, because I know people are going to want to listen, ASAP. Don't think you want that number, bro. Don't think you want that number. Some man text, man.
Which, by the way, folks, we're going to be making fun of these losers while we wait for collections to take place and we revel in the judicial victory that we just received. We're going to be Showtime and I plan on doing a live, but we'll just go through the lawsuit and we're just going to start posting all the artifacts that prove that these people are lying because it's silly. It's really that bad.
Some of you are probably wondering why I posted that about Rodney. I'm guessing somebody's going to wonder why. Well, one is true. That's the first
Because
thing.
he's a liar and he probably got a payout.
Well, that's a reason, but one, it's true. And two, biblical rebuke is a thing. You know, I know it may not be a thing in westernized, I'll call it churchianity, but rebuking in the presence of all is a thing. Now, I know they aren't biblical and they hate God and they mock at God, but he won't be mocked, and I'm still going to follow his word, even if they don't want to. So I just think, look, you're going to make an informed decision. You're going to give somebody their money. They should be able to stand up to scrutiny. I mean, you're getting defrauded. You should know you were getting defrauded. I just think that's an important thing to know. If you're going to listen to people and they're going to prostitute themselves as experts, then they should be able to withstand the fire of scrutiny. Have a great weekend, you too, Keith. Zeta V2. Let's get this resolved. Let's get this resolved, man. Too soon. Too soon.
I'm torn. I've seen people in that chat group, in the Zeta hate scam chat group, whatever you want to call it. I've seen people say things where I'm like, who is this person? How do they know that? And it's a very like matter of fact thing that you'd have to be. It still confuses me how they know what they know. And then I'll just sit there and watch Panda, BJJ, and Sherlock convince everybody that's not true. And then, as you're aware, there are some Zeta community members who have helped us in this. It hasn't just been Matt and I. We do have members of Zeta who have been phenomenal, like I mentioned, Carl Dawkins. But it would just be funny because we would, I would get text messages like, "How'd this person know that?" Or, you know, "What does this do?" And then I'll just sit there and watch Sherlock and freaking Panda BJJ convince everybody that's not true.
I know
like,
exactly
never mind, guys.
Yeah, I know what
Yeah,
you're
it's because they're running Again, it makes no sense unless they're running interference for these guys.
Wonder
Anything
if,
to keep them away from the actual money.
Hopefully, GoFundMe offers refunds. I'm not sure if they do or not. To be determined. Why did the case take so long when they lied? Because that's the way the American court system is. I mean, for what it is.
Welcome to it.
Yeah, I mean, for what it is, you know, in the Middle East, I'll give you an example. You have to prove to the court you have a valid case before they serve anybody, before that person has to spend money and time and resources to come to defend themselves. It's actually a great system. I'll be honest. We should adopt it. We have such a backlog and such an insane system because you can sue anybody, anywhere, anytime for anything. And they have to go and spend money and defend themselves, even if it's not true. And then they can request to rewrite it 900 times. And then you can request to dismiss it 900 times. And, you know, federal judges have better things to do than to read a bunch of nonsense. So it takes time to go through. Honestly, it's a long, long process. So that's,
and it's very procedural. It's not like watching Suits. It's not what I thought it would be, candidly. It's not like watching Matlock. For example, Daniel McGibbon says that I challenged him to a fight in his sworn affidavit and that I sent him a waiver. Strange, because in Discord, I just posted it and I'm going to post him again. He challenged me to a fight and sent me a waiver to his dumbass kung fu school. So he was willing to lie and put that in court and put his name on it. And the judge said, well, if we presume this is true, it still doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, it actually leads right into the question I'm going to answer from Nostalgic. Maybe it was mentioned already, but besides civil awards for all the Zeta people, the people responsible face criminal punishment as well. The more important thing is the money overall, but justice would be nice too. Thank you for everything. The answer is yes. Yes, and yes a third time.
And all of their associates, whoever they may be.
And all their associates, yep.
Whoever aided and abetted and obfuscated and derailed official investigations, I think they should all be held responsible and accountable.
Airborne, thank you. Can't think of any other crypto project that's been as successful as Zeta. No one comes close. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm going to get my pound of flesh. Nostalgic, don't worry about it. I haven't even scratched the surface yet with what I have. Just barely getting warmed up.
Well, and granted, I'm trying to reel it in, but there's a lot of things, folks. There's a lot. There's a lot of information that we didn't know at the time, things we got. One of the biggest revelations was when Matt got admin access over all the emails in our G Suite. and he was able to go through everybody's corporate emails. We found a lot of things in there.
Yeah, I had to go to that level.
Well, and I feel like Conor McGregor. I could go into detail, and I will. For example, it was Mark John Tull. Once again, Mark Johnson is not his real name. His real name is not Mark Johnson. His name is Mark John Tull. Tull. He's the one who made all the original Gaxis stuff. All the original Gaxis website, the original Gaxis marketing equipment. He's the one that made it. They didn't outsource it. He made it. There you go. Wasn't some Pakistani from Fiverr. It was Mark John Tull. And he emailed it to Daniel Kingsley, who passed it on to us. And then we co-branded it with the Zeta stuff. Hey, we live in the 21st century, ladies and gentlemen. We live in the 21st century. Everything's recorded.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Okay. I think I did a last call already. This is the last call, I promise. Last call. Any questions? Any final questions? Any final parting thoughts? Again, we'll try to do another one. It's been the first time in so long, right? So of course, you guys are going to be clamoring for another. I understand that, and I enjoy interacting with you guys as well. So I would love to do one. So any last parting thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, anything? Happy to answer. Give you guys like a 90-second countdown. Zeta View 2. Thanks, Derek.
I have a question for people, and this is just, it could be rhetorical. Maybe just think on it. If somebody steals from somebody, even if you weren't involved, but you keep working with that person and do similar schemes that have similar results over and over again, do you think that person's in on it? I don't know. I'm not thinking about anyone in particular, but just curious. I'd like to get people's thoughts. Like after this Zeta stuff, for example, if you started another company, like another fund, like Zeta, and then you started collecting money for it to give it to the exact same person, and then you did it, and then the same thing happened, and then you did it again, that'd be kind of weird, huh? Yeah,
well, I would say especially so if you knew there was a withdrawal issue, right? I mean, especially in that case, yes, I would say so. But that's me. Hey, what do I know? I'm just an influencer on the internet. Any parting words, Gavin?
I just appreciate everyone. Appreciate the patience. It will be rewarded, but we are with the truth, and the truth is with us. Thank God.
Amen and amen. And I guess in parting, I would just say thanks, guys. You know, I'm sure. Listen, when you don't hear from somebody, it's like, what the heck? I one time had somebody. I don't know. I had one time. I don't know if they were being real or not. Well, if you did something, I wouldn't know what to do with my life. Somebody said that to me once, and I'm kind of like trying not to use certain words that they said, but so I'm sure to some it might have felt like a self-fulfilling prophecy, and to others are just like, Matt and Gavin got one up over us. So, you know, I know not everybody thinks that. Actually, it's a very tiny minority from what I understand. But for you guys who have been there and have been supportive, even in quiet, I had a lot of people say, hey, I'm praying, I'm doing this. And people I've never even spoken to, actually, wild. Encouragement along the way, which I understand slowed down over time. I get it. I don't blame anybody for that. But your prayers and your continued prayers and support, even if it's quiet and you show up when it counts, is still important. You know, if I could just say one thing, I think one of the scriptures that kind of has stood out to me, and I've gone through from like different seasons, one to the other, but in this sense would be Galatians 5:9 or 6:9, to not grow weary in well doing, because in due season you will reap if you don't faint. So there are some requirements there. And with that, I will go ahead and end this. So again, guys, give me a day-ish or so to please post this. It's late on Friday. We will do another one again. And until next time, God bless, and we'll talk soon. Take care.